Well, Johnson & Johnson is spending more than $16 billion to buy a Danvers cardiovascular tech company. The healthcare giant plans to strengthen the Abiomed's medical device division.
Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. If you've been following news for the past few days, you would know that Johnson & Johnson has agreed to purchase Abiomed, a medical devices maker, for $16.6 billion. Huge deal, right? This is news. However, if you are actually interested in learning about business, you should be starting with two questions. Number one, why did Johnson & Johnson actually agree for such kind of a purchase? And number two, what are the business concepts that you can learn from this particular news? So let's get started with the first one. That is, why Johnson & Johnson has agreed to buy Abiomed. Abiomed? Yes, I believe I got the name right. So let's first understand a bit about what's happening at Johnson & Johnson right now. So we all know Johnson & Johnson as a baby care product, right? Hey, Johnson & Johnson hair oil, Johnson & Johnson shampoos, and bunch of other things. However, Johnson & Johnson's consumer products division accounts for less than 20% of its overall revenues. Less than 20%. And the remaining 80% comes from its pharmaceutical division and its medical devices division. However, what's happening in the last few years is that its baby talcum powder has been hit with thousands of lawsuits and allegations that it is causing cancer. Now, because of that, the revenue impact is pretty minimal. This particular baby powder contributes to less than 200-300 million, and out of the overall J&J annual revenues of around $100 billion, this is 0.3-0.4%. So very minute numbers, but the impact on the brand equity, the brand value itself, is pretty high. It's damaging the brand value of Johnson & Johnson. So what Johnson & Johnson has decided is that it will spin off this consumer products division itself into a different company, and two, it decided to basically shut down the sales of this particular product. So the entire burden of revenues for the main Johnson & Johnson brand are going to fall upon the pharmaceutical and the medical devices divisions, and that is where Abiomed comes into the picture. Abiomed is a heart pump maker, and heart pumps are used to treat conditions such as heart failures, heart attacks, and clogged arteries. Now, this particular segment of the industry is growing, and that is the reason why J&J has agreed to purchase Abiomed. Now, what are some of the business lessons that you can take away from this particular news? Two specific things. Number one, brand image is actually more important than revenues, right? For a company like Johnson & Johnson, $200-300 million is nothing in front of their brand image. So they decided to shut down that particular product division itself and also spin out the consumer products division so that even in the future, they do not have to face these kind of issues. The second thing which you also need to learn from this entire news episode is about mergers and acquisitions. The reason why Abiomed has accepted this particular Johnson & Johnson's offer is that they are a healthy, growing company right now. But with the support of Johnson & Johnson, they can grow faster. So that is the reason why Abiomed would have actually accepted the offer. So what you can see is these companies grow faster with a bigger umbrella supporting them. Similarly, Instagram also was a $1 billion company when Facebook acquired it, but now it is worth over $100 billion, and they grew that fast probably with the support of Facebook, right? The second thing, which is probably the learning regarding mergers and acquisitions, but not too pertinent to this specific scenario, is about the cost savings any company would expect due to M&A scenarios. For example, I buy a dozen bananas for 100 rupees and you buy a dozen bananas for another 100 rupees. If we both come together and combine our companies and we buy 2 dozen bananas going forward, we know that, hey, we are buying bigger, so we have higher bargaining power. So now, instead of 200 rupees for 2 dozens, we will spend 180 rupees, so a 10% cost savings. And this is the reason why a lot of companies go into M&A activities. Hope this is helpful, guys. If you find these kind of videos helpful where you not only learn about the news but you understand the underlying concepts of the business, please do press the like button and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Look forward to seeing you again with the next news episode. Take care. Bye-bye.